Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the City of Norwalk Public Library Board of Directors meeting, January 11th. In attendance, we have Alex Snopp, Ralph Bloom, Janie Williams, Patsy Brescia, and Sherelle Harris. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from December 14th meeting.
I move approval. This is
You
Alex.
can move approval. Any changes or edits? I have some. Okay, so on page 2 of 3, where it says the main library renovation architectural budget, that is not really an accurate representation of what I said. So I just I would like it to be stated for the record. The $2.2 million for architectural design services in the economic development budget is now being held for the acquisition of the 11 Belden parking lot. The economic development will be requesting for those funds to be replenished in the coming budget season. Telesco, was that clear?
Yes.
Thank you. And the other change I have is on page 3, where it says Ms. Noor said that this is a priority and that Mr. Livingston is aware of this need. Could you just add Mr. Livingston and the city?
So noted.
Okay, great. And Geraldo Williams has joined, just for the record. Hi, Geraldo. Any other changes to the minutes or edits or comments?
I accept those as all friendly amendments.
Okay, so Alex has made a motion. Second, anyone to second?
Second.
Janie Williams, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Geraldo, are you there? Can you hear?
I don't see a microphone there.
He said he was waiting for his browser.
It looks like he's connecting to audio. Oh, he did not connect to audio. Okay, let's I guess move on. It looks like he may be. Can you write in the chat, Geraldo?
It was something with his browser, so I think there's.
Oh, he's now there. He's connected.
Oh, he's here now?
Yeah.
Hi, Geraldo.
Okay, so
Hello.
I'm just asking for all in favor of approval of the minutes from December 14th.
Okay.
So I just said all in favor and everybody is all in favor.
Okay.
Um,
So am I.
anyone here for public comments? I don't see anybody.
No
Sherelle?
public comment.
Any additions to the agenda? No additions. Okay, I have a few pretty short updates on 3 Belden and 11 Belden. So 11 Belden, which is the parking lot owned by Milligan. So the acquisition for that is, I said last time, beginning of January, I spoke with Tom in the mayor's office, and that is now looking towards the end of January. I mean, these dates are obviously not final, but they're saying the end of January, and they are actively working on this. So, and then for 3 Belden, I spoke with Jess in economic development, and they are working on the closing hoping for end of February and the beginning of March on the closing of that property, and they're actively working on that. As
And
well.
that's the first taxing district.
Correct. That's the
Rather, yeah,
Rebellion is, yep. Three Belden is the first taxing district. And I think as soon as we have more information on that, we will need to meet with them and Jim Travers to talk about how parking will be allocated on that property for the library. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, it's I have to say, frankly, unfortunate thing that the city isn't moving a little faster. People use the library in January, and it is a major inconvenience for the people who we believe need parking the most, senior citizens, people with disabilities, parents with strollers. There are a lot of programs go on in January, and I'm not aware of any legal impediment for the city exercising control over the parking lot now. If I'm mistaken, I'm glad to be corrected, but I hope that the city isn't being overly cautious now that it has filed its valuation in the Superior Court. And there's nothing really, as I understand it, else to do until the court process takes over, whether there's going to be expert testimony from appraisers or not. All those things are to be decided. But in the meantime, the city council has acted. City has deposited money in court, and therefore, hypothetically, as I understand it, the city can exercise control over the lot. And I think it's a inconvenience to library patrons during the month of January, where we've had snow and rain and cold weather, that people can't use that lot.
For the record, can we identify the lot as 11, 3 Belden, because it's confusing for people to know.
That would
which
actually be
property
11 Belden.
Belden, right,
11
right.
Belden.
11.
Yes, 11
Yeah.
Belden.
So can I comment? I mean, that's great, and it's important we get it as fast as we can, but there's not much difference walking distance from 11 Belden to the side door than it is from the parking on Mott Street to the front door. But so I don't, I think it's pretty even as far as walking and with strollers and stuff, but the sooner we get it, the better.
I have to say in response, since I go there quite a lot, the parking in the Eagles is very inconvenient because the spaces are very close together. It's very awkward to get in and out of the Eagles lot in the first 4 or 5 spaces that are closest to Mount Avenue. The library spaces adjacent to the building on Mott are always packed. And so unfortunately, it is an inconvenience to the people who need it the most. And again, I hope that there's some reason why they're not being made available now, but if not, they should be made available.
I think it's an important point, and I think the sooner we can get it, the better, for sure. Are there any other comments? I just want to say for the record that Mary Mann has joined the meeting. Okay, so let's move on. So yesterday we had there was a meeting with the city about the Sono parking and the Webster lot. So in attendance, we had from the board Mary Mann, Patsy Brescia, Janie Williams, and Sherelle Harris in her role. And from the city side, there was Jess Vonacek, Jim Travers, who's the director of parking, and Brian Lutz, who's the assistant director. And so the purpose of the meeting was to kind of find out what the status of the Webster lot was, and also to discuss the parking challenges that Sono faces and how we can possibly work with the new with the kind of what we think are upcoming renovations over at Webster. So just a little bit of background, last year it was announced that the Webster lot there were plans and grants obtained to build a 550 unit residence with about 1,600 parking spots, both for residents and for the public. And we learned yesterday that there are many, many steps that need to happen before this project gets underway, including the remediation of the brownfield. Is that what it's called? The Brownsfield? So we are looking at a pretty far out timeline, 36 months at the very, very earliest. So of course we started this conversation because we wanted to check in about our 10 spots that have been kind of preserved for us for the use by the Sono Park, by the Sono Library. Right now those parking spaces are mainly used by employees, and given that parking is going to be 3x, if there was a way to get more spots reserved for the library. Obviously, the parking is not, this conversation is going to be ongoing, where it's going to be a while before any new parking gets built over there. But we did speak about the challenges at Sono. We have 20 spots over there. There really is not enough parking, especially during programs. There have been several programs during the fall and winter where many people are paying for parking across the street. They're having to cross the road. They're paying up and down. And it really is not an ideal situation at all. I mean, so, and now given that we have a renovation coming up, we expect even more use of the library. And we brought up the fact that it's one of the only free parking spaces. Those are some of the only free parking spaces in the area, and they may there was a question about whether possibly they were being used by non-library patrons. So I think one of the main things that came out of the meeting is that as the library, we need to make our case for more parking, even if it's not in the Webster lot. And that part of making that case is to use to collect our data and our usage data, and the library and the parking. Jim and Brian are very open to working with Sherelle and her team to collect this data, to see what the flow of parking is and who's coming in when and where they're coming from and where they're parking. So that was that is where we left the next step. I think, just making our case about how to possibly creatively think about ways to get more parking that is is based in information. So that's a little bit of a summary, but please feel free to add on to the conversation.
Can I jump in on that? I've been focused on this concern because the Webster Street lot is a major development change in the area. And we are obviously, the Sono branch is obviously physically locked in next to the post office and all the other development properties around us. So there's not much opportunity in the neighborhood to get additional parking. The city charter articulates that the city is responsible for providing parking for the library, which is essential to our argument, which I highlighted in this meeting. And it's important for us to establish our requirements, our needs, and potential expansion needs at this time, prior to the city locking themselves into any development plans. We attended, and I articulated several months ago at the meeting at Sono, when the city had a potential developer present their plans, and I articulated this issue for the records, for the library to get it on the record. We learned yesterday that that developer is no longer involved, and it is now a new developer. But parking is key to everything that they can do on the development of Webster. They don't have enough parking now. I mean, they're under what is required within the city zoning now. And so it's a very heavy issue for the developer. So we need to protect what we have or try to get additionally more. So the plan that we ended up with was, as Moina has said, is to gather more specific data that we can present to the city for our argument. We talked about going back and looking at the study that was done years back for both. They asked us to do this research for both sites, both Belden and South Norwalk, to
that's
present to
important.
them. Yeah, and then the other piece is to right now to go request a opportunity with the parking authority to present this issue. So I would like to volunteer to contact the parking authority and to ask to get on the agenda when we think we're ready to present it. But it's crucial that we do it now, because if we do it 3 years from now when they're drawing plans, then our argument is going to be really watered down. So now is the time to do it.
Yeah, thank you for all that, Patsy.
You're welcome.
I would just add that in the interim 3 years, there may, if we should also make a case that we don't have currently enough
Right.
parking,
Right.
given our, our traffic flows and the number of patrons, so that we can collectively do some creative brainstorming around ways to increase those 10 spots. So
I felt that the city was surprised to the fact that it's articulated, their requirement is articulated in the charter, but it is. So
well, that's a very
that's a very strong point for us, for our argument.
for both libraries. So
Yes. Both buildings.
Does anybody have any comments or questions? Okay. So the next item on the agenda is, so I sent out an email and I was thinking about the board. I was actually rereading some of the bylaws and kind of thinking about the executive committee as not being kind of full or all the positions, and about the secretary role. And I thought I reached out to Geraldo to see if he would be interested. I know, he and I worked together with Sherelle on the Library Cafe RFP. I know he was on the Board of Ethics Committee. I thought he would be a really great choice to round out our executive committee. And if there's any, I'd like to put a motion to accept Geraldo, to vote in Geraldo as a secretary of the Norwalk Public Library Board. If there's any discussion.
I think it's a great idea. I move the appointment of Geraldo as secretary of our
Second.
library board.
Okay, Ralph seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you, Geraldo.
thank you,
Thank
Geraldo.
That's all.
Be careful. Don't you? I'm thrilled about it. I really enjoy working with Geraldo, and I think he'll be a great member to our well, he's already a member of our team, but as an officer. Okay, so I'm gonna pass it over to Sherelle.
Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year again. And congratulations to Geraldo.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Thanks all.
So to begin with, we were waiting to hear back from the Bureau of Education and Services for the Blind, Vending Facility Department of the Rehabilitation Services about a waiver, so that, we can move forward with the cafe. The city will not move forward without the waiver. It's something that we had to do when we put in the original. So we can, from my understanding, we can use the original. It's not outdated as yet, so we can use the previous waiver if we so choose. So that, instead of waiting, it can expedite the matter. So we can move forward with that document.
Is there a time limit for the life of the document? Is there, will we have to renew it?
We probably would, like, the next time around. It's not expired yet, so we have the
I know,
choice.
but I think we need to see what it is, and if it is that we have it logged in, so we know when we have to do it and not let it elapse.
Got it. All right, so I can send that out. Just writing that down. Okay. So I spoke with Neil, the main library carpet replacement project. He is waiting to hear from the vendor. They're updating the invoice so that now it will reflect that they do not have to move the stacks and they do not have to move any books. So as soon as that's done, Neil will give me a start date for that particular project.
Darrell, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
I have a question for you. In the contract for the carpeting, does it include replacing the rubberized board we have at the bottom? We have a rubberized baseboard.
The baseboard?
Yeah, and it sits on top of the carpet. The last time they renewed the carpeting, they had to take the board up itself to pull the carpet out. And at that time, they replaced it with new baseboard.
Okay.
And, is that included?
That's a good question. I'll ask.
We have about, I'd say about 50 feet of baseboard that's missing right now.
Yeah,
There
we do.
used to be furniture and they never bothered to put it there. Now it's fully exposed.
It's exposed, correct. That's a really good question. I will double check with Neil. Thank you, Ralph. Any other questions? Okay, so Moina had her heart set on the Sono renovation. She's been watching social media. So I have just a quick PowerPoint to show you all. It's really coming along nicely. Hold on one second.
I don't know who else is on Instagram and Facebook, but there are a lot of really great pictures out there of the Sono right now.
Let me see if I can do this. Oh. Can you see?
Oh, wow, this is like way beyond. Sherelle, you outdid yourself.
It's just a very quick PowerPoint. So this is the library with lots of books. This is part of the renovation. So the staff basically they did a weeding project just so we're not putting outdated, books back on the shelves. So they did a very thorough weeding project, and that's Brandon Veloz, for anyone who doesn't know him. This is part of the pack up, but they did a wonderful job. That's our custodian, Otis Weeks, but also Sarah Schillinglaw, Brandon, Haley Roy, Melissa Flores, and Trevon Daniels. They did a phenomenal job. No griping, they just got the job done. So this is partial as we were emptying the stacks. Pretty empty. That's part of the crew. And now we're fully empty as far as books and just, moving furniture. And this is what we're starting to look like. So they're starting to put down the carpet. They did a great job, with the wood trim. I love the accent. You have to be in person. The accent wall really looks nice. That's a little dark, so you really can't see the lights. This gives you a fuller view of the curved lights. They have not gotten, the baseboards yet. They're starting to paint.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I love that,
gorgeous.
like modern and old together. I think that looks really cool. That looks
Mhm.
really nice.
And the staff, they, especially the younger ones, they absolutely love it. That's sort of, you get to see the work, but you can get a better view of the lights here.
Mhm.
And that's the other side with the fireplace. And this is just,
They're moving along quickly.
they really are. And they're
Yeah.
really nice men, just really, really nice men. And this is just the previous. Before we started this renovation, we renovated the teen room. And so this is part of the project, but a couple of years ago. And that's it.
Mhm. Very good.
Very good.
Very
It
nice.
is really nice. I can't wait for the furniture. All of the colors, will pick up each other. It's going to look really nice.
Are the lights at the front door, those two lights, chandeliers or whatever, are they in
Uh-huh.
yet?
They are, you know what? And I didn't
Okay,
take a
yeah.
picture.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I'll send
Yeah,
it to
I
you.
just wondered if,
Yep.
if they were, because you
They-
should get a picture of it soon,
Yep.
to see, yeah, just for the record.
Got it. All right. Let's see. So the technology upgrades at the main library have been completed. So we will be able to do hybrid programs. We have a date of, I believe, January 19th for staff training. And the Sono is set to begin next week. So, and it's usually a 2-week process, for them to upgrade everything. So I'm really excited about that. We were held up, during COVID, and then there was an issue, with getting, everybody pretty much had that, getting things shipped. And so, but now we're here. And so by February, fingers crossed, both rooms will be completed. So I think that's a major step in I think Lori Iflin, Lori led that project, headaches and all, but we're here. So
Can I ask a question on that? Are we going to be able to rent that facility out for people for meetings to run hybrid meetings? Or is it just for our own staff use?
no, others should be able to do it too.
Yeah, because I think we might
That was the
be able
whole
to
purpose.
get some revenue from people renting because it's a real need right now in both locations.
Correct. And
We
that
might
was
be able to
part of-
bring some money in.
For sure. That's a very good point. That was part of our description, because we have so many room bookings and people want updated equipment. And then, of course, during COVID, it really made a difference. So, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can get an article, a PR article in the paper or something.
Okie dokes. Okay, and then final on my agenda is the approval of the 2024 meeting dates. January 11th, all the second Thursday of each month, February 8th, and March, of course, I'm so sorry. I failed to put the date. So March would be March 14th, April 11th, May 9th, June 13th, July 11th, and typically we don't have an August meeting. September 12th, October 10th, November 14th, and December 12th.
Mhm.
So I just need approval of those dates. Moina, if you want.
Mary, go ahead.
I saw Alex as well.
Mhm.
Moina,
So-
do you want to recognize them or should I?
Pardon me?
So we just need to have the board approve.
Okay, so Mary, you're gonna Mary Mann makes a motion to
Yes.
approve the 2024 board meeting dates as read out by
Second,
Jarrell Harris and Alex seconds. All in
Alex.
favor?
Aye.
Mhm.
Can we get a copy of those, please?
Yeah, they're on the agenda, but I can send them separate.
Oh, okay, all right.
I can send
So
it.
I think we skipped over number 4, staffing.
Staffing.
Oh my gosh. Oh, how could I skip over staffing? So, yeah, that's been a huge need. So I am, it's moving along, not as quickly as I'd like, but I'm grateful that it's moving along. So, they posted Dawn's position, and so that position closed today. So that's a good thing. So they should be referring the candidates. They are also, they posted internally Kathy's position, and that's the acquisitions library assistant position. And so that should post, I believe, tomorrow. And it'll post for 2 weeks. So those two are moving along. Well, I spoke with Lamont today. So we want to really this whole library assistant, Danny Rodriguez's position has just been hanging on for too long. So I did email Tina and I spoke to Lamont today that I would really love to get that, filled by, this month, no later than next month. And so at least with the day-to-day, we will, have, people working in the day-to-day, then we can concentrate on the branch manager position.
And that has not been advertised?
Not yet.
Yeah, and can I just make a point of that in last Friday's front page of the Norwalk Hour, there was a big headline about new positions being offered within the city, significant. There was no mention of any of our positions,
Exactly.
which I found to be very disappointing. And so that's why I think we really need to have know when they're going to do this, and we've got to stay on it because I don't know if the rest of you read the article, but it was upsetting.
Yeah, Moyna mentioned it as well. So, so like I said, I'm glad that they moved on those two positions because those are two significant positions. Once we can, I'm probably emailing every week now, and Lamont has been very supportive. He and I spoke today. Definitely with this, I don't understand what's going on with that library assistant position. But I'm going to stay on top of that. Once the day-to-day positions are filled, it'll be easier then to concentrate on the management position. So
Okay.
thank you, Patsy. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I mean, can you articulate to Lamont that the board is asked what the date is for that to happen?
Sure.
We need to really get people
He's
moving here.
supportive. So I do want to just, sing his praises today. He did, ask, and he wants to keep it in front of Tom Livingston. So, but I will articulate your.
Yeah, because I know there are a lot of important positions that they're focused on,
Right.
and the fact that we weren't mentioned doesn't mean that they're not focused on us, but I think we need to know what their target date, and we need to pay attention to it and hold everybody accountable
For sure.
to following those dates.
Okay.
I will say on the online version of the hour, they did link to the
The other positions,
yeah, all the positions, and actually accounting clerk for the library was on top of that list. So
but not the South Norwalk.
no.
Okay, well, that's my point.
It's a good point.
Thank you all for your support. I'm confident that it's going to happen before May, that all of the positions will be in before May.
I'm knocking on wood for you.
For all of us.
And for us,
For all of us, for sure. So that's the end of my report.
Library. Yeah.
Okay. What about the budget dates? Are there any dates for the budget hearings?
Let's see, I can just pull that up. Other than what I sent in the packet. Let's see.
No, I could pull it up too.
1 second. Okay, so the operating calendar. So we have a while before the hearing, like the Board of Education is going to take up a couple of things, let's see. Now it's interesting, so this year, they're gonna publish the recommended budget by February 16th. The public hearing will be on February 22nd. At 6:30 p.m. And then let's go for capital. So public hearing, planning and zoning meets with the departments. January 17th through the 18th.
Next week.
Yep, 6 p.m. And by January 26th, the CFO would make his request, and then there would be the public hearing on February 1st.
So that's next, what's next Wednesday?
Wednesday and Thursday. So they will meet, with the departments to go over, just like Henry met with Lamont and I, and planning and zoning would also meet with the departments.
So we're ready for that presentation?
We are ready.
So, you know, there was a time last year that, is it like between February 8th and then February, for the operating budget I'm talking about, when the chief financial officer prepares and submits the recommended operating budget. And then there was like a period in which the mayor kind of has some time to kind of look at it and adjust it. And I think that's when we kind of advocated for a few things. Is that's the same time period?
That's usually further down. Hold on 1 second. So
You know why I'm bringing this up? When we did the charter revision, we changed all of the schedules. And so I'm really focused on making sure we
we
have the,
know the
arc
dates.
because we moved them up, made them earlier in the year
Mhm.
and changed the flow. So we need
Yeah, 'cause-
to make sure that we really know what dates we have, and so we're ready to be there.
For sure. So if you want, like, I know what I sent before, it was in this particular format. Hold on 1 second. I got so many. Let's see. I can get back to that screen. Can you see the screen?
No,
No. Oh, because I didn't hit share, sorry. Can you see it now?
yes.
So this is the format that I sent it in. If you want, I can just cut to the chase and just send you the dates that, for the hearings.
No, this is good for me.
Okay. You want me to I can resend it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's also all online.
I'll do that for both. Yeah, they are online. I
Yeah,
can
that's
send the
where
link.
I look at them. Yeah.
Yeah. I can send the link to online as well as just send the document. Any other questions or concerns?
Okay, if not, let's make a motion. I make a motion to adjourn.
I ask a question, please. We had talked last year about having the city come and do a interpretation of the city's understanding of the role of our board. And we've talked to the city multiple times about making that happen. And can we get that scheduled, Moina, as soon as we can?
I
follow?
Yeah, absolutely. We can get that scheduled, but I do think that I think it's a conversation where, you know, they may express some things, but I also think that as a board, we should also present, you know, we had that really good presentation by the Connecticut State Library Board person. Maybe we can bring her in again to talk with the city, some city officials. I think it's a bit of a back and forth from the city, from their perspective, from our perspective to the city as well. But I can start making that happen. And so, yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a request. Could you please send me the link for the foundation meeting? I can't find my original connection, but I appreciate if you would send me the link for the next meeting.
For the next meeting?
Yes.
The foundation meeting.
The foundation.
For the foundation.
Sure. Gotcha. I'm sorry. Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.
Sure.
I move to adjourn.
Mary seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll see you over at the foundation meeting. Thanks, everyone.